Hillary. I left you instructions, but I decided that this is actually the first video response I've ever made. Excuse me, my foot's a little dry. My name is Nancy. I've been soaping for a couple years now. I'm on the dish. I don't know if you are. I've been watching your videos for a while. I think you're great. I have a business, Goddess Herbals. I make soap and body products. I'm not on YouTube yet. I have my channel, but I haven't populated it yet. It starts this week. As soon as I get my Etsy shop done. Cross my fingers. Then I have to start working my own web space. Anyway, I'm going to tell you how I rebatch soap. I do what you do, except I do it a little differently. This week I used Daystar's pomegranate and sweet orange. It smells fantastic. I made it with 3 different bases. Every time, soap on a stick. When I say soap on a stick, I mean I lifted out the stick blender after 2 zhuzhes and a couple of stirs, and there was a clump of soap deeply traced attached to it. I'd never seen anything like that before in my life. You know, I've never had seizure like all these other people. I've never had this super fast trace. Yeah, right. I had just said that, and I got exactly what I deserved. So what I did was, it was really soft when it set up, and I know why. I had been using a pre-batched lye. I used pre-batch oils and lyes. I've stopped using pre-batched lye because I have to shake that bottle up really, really good, and I'm nervous to do it. It's really hard closed at the top. It's this rig rubber makes it really closed down tight, but I figure I'll just use that for pre-batched oil from now on, because whenever I make the pre-batched lye, I tend to get flakes of lye everywhere. It's a bad idea for me. I'm a dangerous person with pre-batched lye. I am not dangerous when I make it. There's a cat here on my computer. Ugh! Ugh! And I usually vacuum my computer, except last week I was vacuuming my computer and I vacuumed out my J. Yes, this is how my personality is all the time. I'll drive you crazy. There's no calmness here. Or I'll take my sleep. So I took the stuff and I ground it up and I put it in a crock pot. And you need 2 crock pots for soaping. I actually have 5 crock pots for soaping. Because I love hot process and rebatch. I have literally made soap with no scent, with full intention to rebatch it, because I like that. I like the way it comes out, and I like rebatching in hot process for scents that either seize or just dang dingity die if you add them at the beginning. So if you know, I prefer that to melt and pour, because melt and pour is, I love it, but it's an art, and I'm not an artist. So I have like 4 or 5 tricks to melt and pour. My son is trying to get in here, and he's filthy and wearing nothing but a pair of underwear, and I'm not going to let him. Daddy has it. Now, shh, I'm talking. Okay, so what I did was, so I had this soap, this cold processed soap that came out really soft and was soap on a stick, and I jammed it in the mold and it wouldn't even go down to the bottom. It had huge monster craters in it. Like you said, I don't want to sell that. That's not representing who I am. That's representing the person who just can't soap, period. So I rebatched this with sugar water. Now I put in warm water. I have my crock pot going. I dropped my soap in. I poured water over it. Sometimes I use sodium lactate. I use about a 1/4 cup of water per pound of soap. It's going to make it a little loose, but that's okay. It will dry out. Some of it will come off when you have the cover off. You know, it's going to be okay. Then I take sugar in one of the quarter cups of water. I take hot water, sugar, and the sugar is going to be a tablespoon per pound of oils originally, so with the original recipe. So you're just going to say how many pounds. You look at that recipe and say, well, I had 32 ounces of oil, so I need 2 tablespoons of sugar. Sodium lactate works too. Then in another crock pot, so you start that. And you're going to let that go until it's starting to get a little really kind of loose and mushy, but not all the way there. When it's kind of at that real loose, mushy part, leave it on low. Check it every 20 minutes. You're going to start your hot process, and I suggest that you have everything ready to go except the lye. Measure your lye, measure your water, pour your lye into your water. You know all that, just in case somebody here doesn't know to do that. Lye goes into water. Water doesn't go into lye. I made that mistake once. Put your stuff, even if it has like palm kernel flakes, whatever, into the new crock pot. It's on low, and it's been on low for a little while. Pour your lye water over the top. Then have taken out some water from the process. Get that nice and warm. Put in the same amount of sugar that you put in the other batch. That way your inky doesn't change. You don't have to refigure anything. You can, if you don't have enough molds to do this in like I have a lot of molds, but if you only have like a couple molds, you can also do it in 2 halves. Take that same recipe, take that sugar water, that lye, use your stick blender, get that to a nice thick trace. This is the one time where a nice thick trace is great. It drives you crazy because I'm using an olive oil recipe. It takes heavy olive oil, it takes forever to get to trace. And bang it and cover it and walk away. What's going to happen is you're going to get, you've seen the videos, you're going to get that island of slowly disappearing island of ungelled soap with the gel moving around it. And when your island is about that big, I start smashing it down and stirring it. All the while, I'm still stirring the other soap. Now, when your island is gone, give it another 10 or 15 minutes. Make sure the other soap is nice and loose. Then stick blender them both into submission. You want it as smooth as possible, both of them. I am telling you, stick blending the hot process is the difference between lumpy, weird-looking hot process soap and nice, pretty smooth on the inside hot process soap that you cannot tell. You're then going to figure out the color for both soaps and add the fragrance oil in no more than 1 ounce per pound of oils for the hot process batch, not the rebatch. Don't add any fragrance to the rebatch because you really don't know how much is stuck. You're hoping a lot stuck and you have a good smell, but the chances are that's going to fade a lot. But you can't just guess and put some in if you're going to sell it. You can't. So I put the fragrance oil in to the new one. I do the colors. If I split it out, I split it out. It really is pretty forgiving at this point if it's nice and warm, and you can always warm it up again. The last thing I add is the fragrance oil. I stick blend the living bar out of it. Then I layer it in my molds with, I make them 2 different, in this case I made one crock pot orange, the other crock pot red, because it was orange. It was easy to make it red. And I started layering it, and this is what I got. Now, it's not done. The sides are smooth. I love that. This is smooth. I don't think, if you're looking at this, you can tell, unless you're a soaper, it's hot process. Until you look at the top, which I will cut off, because I don't like, this one didn't peak. I can mix them with peaks sometimes. This one didn't want to peak. Take your soap, your molds, and if you have to cover them because it's too loose, go ahead, but I don't think you will. Every time you add a layer, bang, 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 bang. Get all the air bubbles out. And you'll have fabulous looking soap, which will still smell as good as it should. And that's my tips and how I do it. And I hope I didn't bore you. Bye.